your Harbor Freight plastic welder. Okay, I'm going to show you how to weld some holes up. This is a Lifetime Youkon 116, and this is the paddle holder. Okay, you put your paddle here, and you put that around the paddle and clip it there, and that's supposed to hold your paddle on. Well, the problem is right there, water gets in these holes on the sides. I'm going to take care of that real quick. I'm going to show you the first step to this is cut that one as close as you can. That way you still got a little bit of bungee you can use later if you need it. Just push that down inside your canoe, your kayak. You'll find it later when you fish it out. Got there. All right, now I'm going to take my little wire brush that came with the ironing or the plastic welder. I'm just going to rough up around it. Not a whole lot, just a little. Same thing to the other hole. Just get it rough. All right, I got one of the green plastic welding rods. Let me get situated. I'll be right back. Okay, hopefully the camera will stay there. I'm probably gonna knock it off by moving stuff around, but I got my what they call this plastic welder. I got a little hot, so what I want to do is just kind of warm this area up by not pressing down, but just, you know, get it to where it's a little shiny. See how it's starting to turn a little shiny? Get a little shiny so it's tacky. You want this other plastic to stick to it. Get it tacky. Now I'm just going to take that other one. I'm going to stick it on there. That rod, I'm just going to stick it on there and melt it right in place. Push it down into that hole. I'm going to do that over again. Push it right in that hole. Do it again. Till I do this, just do this till I get that hole covered up. All right, get a gob of that stuff on that hole and just flatten it out. See, right here I don't need it, but over here there's my hole right there. That's where you really want it flattened out. Try to get that crap, the excess off of there with this. It'll come off later with the sandpaper anyway, but all right, I got my hole covered up. But what I want to do, I want to go ahead and put a little bit extra glob on there and build it up real good, and make sure I press it down into that hole really well. Y'all see what I'm doing there? Get it pressed into that hole really well. All right, make sure you flatten out your edges real good and get those edges to blend in with the existing plastic. All right, that's it. Now I'll let it cool off. And once that cools off, I'll come back with some sandpaper and sand it down. Buff it out a little bit. You don't have to, but I'm going to. And then I'll do the other hole here, and this won't leak anymore. Folks, I have another plan to hold my paddle. I'll show you on the other side when this is done, what I did on the other side to hold my paddle in place. And this is where you drain the kayak. See, they already planned on water getting in this damn thing because they built it with a drain. I'll just go ahead and do this other one while that first one's drying. Take that glob right there and stick it down there. There in that hole. My canoe's starting to fall over, or my kayak's starting to tip over on me. Hang on, folks. Sorry about that. Melt off a little bit more. Get put that in that hole. You can't have too much on there. I don't care about the color not matching, as long as it floats and keeps the water out, because I'm going to be putting a bedroll, pillow, blanket, and stuff inside this kayak, and I want it to be dry when I get where I'm going. Okay, I want a dry bed when I get ready to sleep at night. So can't have no leaks. Melt that stuff down and push it right over the top of that hole. Flatten it out with that iron. I probably flattened it out too much. There we go. There we go. I'm making sure I'm pushing it way down into that hole, because I want that hole, I don't want just the surface of the hole to be blocked. I want the hole to be filled. So I would say that hole's filled. Let me do a little cleanup work over here on the side. Well, I got this heat gun here. Blend that in a little bit better. That piece will come off. Okay, that's that part. Sure hope I pressed record. Yep. I think I'm recording it sideways though. So that's what that one looks like. This piece can just peel off. I don't need that on there. That I don't need on there either. Get it off while it's still warm. Okay. Let's go up here to our other one. I got a piece of 240 grit, wet, dry sandpaper. I'm just gonna go over that with that sandpaper and smooth it out. That's all there is to it. And you don't have to smooth it out if you don't want to. Smoothing it out takes the color, a lot of the color away, and makes it brighter or whiter. I don't care. Once it get wet, it's all gonna look the same anyway, but yeah. Sandpaper any rough edges down. Ta-da! There's one welded kayak, folks. That's a plastic weld on your kayak. It's not the prettiest, but neither are you. Remember how I told you squirrels would chew on anything? Well, I guarantee that squirrel right there chewing on that. Let's flatten it out. Yeah, that's a squirrel been chewing on that thing. Go back over it with the sandpaper here in a minute. You don't want to get it too hot because it'll discolor it like that. But I don't care. But I tell you what, a squirrel will chew on everything. That's why I had to make that cage over there. Past that ladder, there's a cage with tomatoes. That cage, yeah, with the tomato plants down in the bottom. And squirrels will chew on anything around here. I'm gonna tell you what, they will chew it up. So. Yeah, they chewed on my kayak. What the hell? I mean, there's plenty of trees around here, plenty of acorns, plenty of food for them, but they want to chew on a kayak. Okay, let me show y'all what I did on this other side to hold the kayak handle. They sell these things at Walmart. These little kayak clips, these handle clips. I put the screws in. I used some good screws that I know are not going to leak, and I used Loctite on that. So that's where I welded those holes up. That was from that bungee I showed you on the other side. And this thing just clips in, kind of like, just like that. Kind of hard to do with one hand, but I'll show you. See if I can show you. Maybe you can see that. Just goes in like that. Just pops in there. And it holds your handle really well. And I got one for the other side, but I don't need it. But I mean, I only got one handle. So I doubt that I'm gonna be drilling holes in my kayak to add another handle clip like that. I just don't need it. I just don't need it. Folks, the first screw that I checked on this kayak was underneath the nameplate. It said lifetime right there. And you can see I welded those holes up. Those screws were leaking. When I opened up my hatch, I had water in there. So I used putty, and I put putty around each hole and made a little divot or whatever. I made a little cup around each screw and put water in it one at a time to see which ones were going to leak. And that one right there holding their nameplate leaked. So I'm going to go over this, and I'm going to do each one of these with a little putty around that. I'm going to put putty around that. I'm going to fill it with water and see if it leaks. I'm going to put putty around that, fill it with water and see if it leaks. Now these, I can tell, I can feel up under there. Let me see. These are not. Okay. No, these do. These are molded. Okay, these screws right here are molded, so they do not go through the hole. All right. I don't know if I can show you. I can't show you that inside, but just feel inside there, and you can feel that it's molded and the screw doesn't go through. But those screws there did go through. Thanks for watching, folks. Plastic welding on your kayak. That's my kayak. Once I get really good at plastic welding, I might take a spare blue cup, one of the non-originals, and crack it and practice on it. And once I really get good, I may repair my own blue cup. Whoever thought about plastic welding? Wow. Huh, there's a piece I tested on an old cup. Well, it was a brand new cup, but I sacrificed it I had to break a piece off to get some material. And I drilled a hole over here, and I checked to see if I could weld that hole up. And it appears that I can. So I can use this material to weld my actual blue cup, which is, I've been using epoxy to hold it together. Yeah. Time to clean the dishes. So folks, these are the screws that they used on their lifetime name tag. I don't know if you can see that real well, but that screw doesn't have solid threads all the way down. It's not going to focus on it. See how some threads are full and some aren't? Like every other thread is a half thread. I don't know if you can tell. Maybe I'll have to take a screenshot of it and blow it up. Here, I'll just blow it up like this with my editing software. Freeze now.